I was polishing the chrome on my 22-foot center console boat. Just enjoying a rare Saturday off, when this black sedan pulls up, a guy in a cheap suit gets out, clutching a tablet like it's a sacred text. He marches right up my driveway, ignores the private property sign, and stops beside my boat trailer. Without even a hello, he announces, "This vessel is in violation of Municipal Code 74B. You have 1 hour to move it, or it will be impounded." Now, my name is Richard Sterling, and I'm the mayor of this town. I also happen to be the guy who wrote Municipal Code 7 15 years ago. It's for abandoned cars on public streets, not pristine boats on private driveways. This guy, let's call him Kevin, clearly skipped the research phase. I put down my polishing rag. "Good morning to you, too. Who are you?" He puffed out his chest. "I am Senior Compliance Officer Kevin Miller. I've been tasked with cleaning up the blight in this district, and this," he gestured at my beautiful boat, "is an eyesore and a hazard." I had to stop myself from laughing. My boat, the Sea Star, is my pride and joy. It's washed weekly, always covered, and parked on a custom concrete pad I poured just for it. "Well, within all the zoning laws, blight," I asked him. "It's a brand new boat on a paved surface. What's the violation?" He just droned on, tapping his tablet, "Visual obstruction of the neighborhood aesthetic, and improper storage of marine equipment in a residential zone. I've already called the tow truck. It's on its way." My voice dropped. "You called a tow truck? For a vehicle on private property, without a warning, a citation, or any kind of court order?" He sneered. "I don't need a court order for emergency blight removal. I have broad discretionary powers under the new beautification initiative." I looked him straight in the eye. "There is no beautification initiative. I would know. I approve the city budget." He actually rolled his eyes at me. "Look, buddy, I don't know who you think you are, but I answer to the city planning director, not some guy washing a boat. Now, give me the keys so the driver can hook it up safely, or he'll just drag it out. Your choice." I wiped my hands on a towel. "Kevin, I'm going to give you one chance to get in your car and leave. If a tow truck touches this trailer, you're going to lose your job, and you might end up in handcuffs for theft." He laughed, a short, sharp laugh, threatening a city official. "That's another fine. I'm adding verbal harassment to the ticket." So, I pulled out my phone. "Okay, have it your way." But I didn't call 911. I called the chief of police, on his direct line. "Chief, it's Mayor Sterling. I have an individual on my property impersonating a compliance officer and trying to steal my boat. He says he called a tow. Send a unit to my house. Quietly, I want to see how far he takes this." The chief was on it, ETA, 3 minutes. "Mr. Mayor." I hung up and turned back to Kevin. He was busy taking pictures, building his fake case. "You're making this worse for yourself," he said. "The fine is starting at $500, plus towing, plus storage." I asked him, "Who hired you?" "Kevin. I know every code enforcement officer in the city, and I've never seen you." He avoided eye contact. "I was brought in as a consultant. Special task force. A special task force consultant, right? That's code for a third-party contractor trying to rack up tow fees for a kickback. We'd had problems with predatory towing companies before, and I thought we'd stamp them all out. Apparently, I missed one." Just then, a beat-up flatbed tow truck rumbled down the street. It had Al's Towing in peeling letters and no city markings. The driver jumped out. "This the one?" he asked Kevin. "Yeah, hook it up. Owner is non-compliant." I spoke calmly. "Don't touch the boat." The driver glanced at me, then back at Kevin. "He gonna be a problem?" "Ignore him," Kevin said. "He's nobody." The driver grabbed a chain and started walking toward my trailer, and that's when 2 police cruisers silently rolled up behind the tow truck, boxing it in completely. The lights weren't on, but the message was crystal clear. Kevin froze. The driver dropped the chain with a clang. Officer Higgins stepped out of the first car, walked up the driveway, and gave me a nod. "Morning, Mr. Mayor. Nice day for a boat ride." Kevin's head whipped around to look at me. His jaw dropped. "Mayor?" "Morning, Higgins," I said. "This gentleman claims he has the authority to impound my vessel under a non-existent beautification initiative. He also threatened me with fines." Higgins turned to Kevin. "Let me see your ID and your work order." Kevin was visibly shaking now, fumbling for the lanyard around his neck. The badge was a generic city contractor ID, expired 3 months ago. "And the work order?" Higgins pressed. Kevin stammered. It's digital. The system is down." Higgins didn't miss a beat. "I checked the system on the way over. There are no open code violations for this address, and there is certainly no tow order." The tow truck driver started backing away. "Hands up. Look, I was just called for a job. I didn't know." Higgins wasn't having it. "You blocked a public street without a permit, and you were about to hook up a vehicle on private property without a police tag. That's attempted grand theft auto. Stay right there." He turned back to Kevin. "And you're operating with an expired badge, impersonating a city official, and attempting to extort a resident. The mayor, specifically." Kevin just wailed. "I didn't know he was the mayor. I just thought." I stepped closer. "You thought you could bully a citizen into paying a bogus fine. Who put you up to this? Is it a kickback scheme? He crumbled completely. My cousin owns the towing company, he whispered. We split the fees. I target the nice neighborhoods because people usually just pay to avoid the hassle. That's racketeering, I said, and fraud. Higgins cuffed Kevin right there. Another officer handled the tow driver. As they were being led away, I saw my neighbor, Mrs. Gable, watching from her porch. She has complained about my boat at every town hall meeting for 5 years. But even she had a satisfied look on her face. Later, I gave my official statement. It turned out Kevin and his cousin had scammed about 30 people in just the last month. They targeted boats, RVs, classic cars, anything that looked like the owner had money to spare. They'd charge a massive drop fee on the spot, or tow the vehicle and charge thousands for its release. Because they targeted me, the investigation was swift and thorough. We uncovered a whole ring of corrupt contractors. I fired the city planning director for his complete lack of oversight, and I instituted a new citywide policy. No towing from private property is allowed without a signed order from a sworn police officer. Kevin got 5 years for fraud, extortion, and impersonating an official. His cousin lost his business license and faced similar charges. A few months later, I was out fishing on the lake. A boat passed by, and it was Mrs. Gable's son-in-law. He yelled over, "Nice boat, Mayor." I shouted back, "Thanks. It's fully compliant." Sometimes, the bad guys are so arrogant they don't bother to check who they messing with. They think a badge or a vest gives them unlimited power. They forget that real power lies in the law, and God help them if they try to use that law against the person who writes it. So, if you ever have someone demanding cash or threatening to tow your vehicle from your own driveway without a police officer present, don't fall for it. Lock your doors, call 911, and tell them you're being robbed, because that's exactly what's happening. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to follow for more stories.